Good morning, wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is. This is good morning from Denmark. I'm Rachel Goodwin. I'm a channel and a spiritual teacher. And today I would like to talk to you about creating your own Ascension grid. Now, I work with the Ascended Master Sarah. She's the daughter of Master Jesus and Mary Magdalene, which is all very interesting, but she is so much more than that. And she is a new Ascended Master. And when I say new, with the finger quotes there, I'm saying that because she's new to us. She's coming to us because it's the time now for us to learn how to come into our own mastery on the earth. And the work that I've been doing with her this year is very much involved with working with the earth energies, creating right kind of vibrations on the planet for us, for the earth, so that the ascension can actually take place, because we're co-creators in this. We're kind of what's in between all of the elemental forces, all of the angels, and all of these different kingdoms and realms that's around us. So the whole point of this ascension grid is just trying to think which bit to start from. I think I'll start from the vision of it. So what Sarah has shown me is that there's a big gap between the vibrations that are coming in, the ascension energies and downloads that are coming in, and where we are vibrationally on the earth at the moment. So our ley lines and energy systems that we're kind of existing with at the moment it's the old way. That's stuck in the old. And these downloads and everything that is coming in, that's the new way. And the more time goes on, the bigger that gap actually gets. So there's more and more dissonance between the two. And if you follow teachers like Diana Cooper, she talks about there is like a new fifth dimensional and higher grid system or ley lines being built on the earth at the moment. It's not finished yet. So at the moment we're kind of stuck in between these two places. But what Sarah is showing me is that there's a gradual process going on here. And if we think about like us and our own personal energy body, we have our own personal energy body. First of all, we need to strengthen that. Okay, a lot of us have done a lot of that work already. Then we need to strengthen and raise the vibration of the place where we live. So that's like our own personal home, because it's not enough that we do this sort of just with our energy body. We need to bring these things down to the physical vibration, to the physical world. And a lot of the work that she does, that Sarah's teaching us, is in the etheric. And the etheric is kind of the closest you get to being physical without it actually being physical. The etheric is like the blueprint for the physical. So we work with this first, and then we work with our homes and we build that up. And then we can work with if we're earth workers, this is the first two bits we all need if we're light workers, our light body and our home. If we want to extend that out even further, then we go out to like our neighborhoods and we work with that next. But it's like building up layers of strength, because as you do this, your energy body gets stronger. But there's also something about putting down roots into the earth, because our bodies are made of the earth, and it's also about building these kind of etheric structures in the earth. So when you make a grid around your home, which is what I'm going to be talking about in a moment, that is, you're increasing your power by doing that, because all the time your energy body is in a lower vibration, is in a higher vibration than your home. You are constantly having to kind of fight with the dissonance, which is the difference between your vibration and your home's vibration. And then of course, you know, when we go out, it's even worse. When we go out to places that have got a lower vibration than that, it's even more like energetically, you have to use up so much energy to kind of keep yourself in a good place of vibration. But as I was saying, if you're an earth worker, you go from the light body to the home to your area of influence, which is your neighborhood, and you grow lines of light around there as well. And then from that place of strength, that's an incredible place of power then. And the old shamans, they knew this. They worked very much with their piece of land. They became like one with their piece of land and built up all these etheric roots and structures. And it's an incredible source of power. And then from that place, you can really go out and start like cleaning energetically up the oceans and sorting out. There's a lot of like toxic energy waste on the earth that's been left from wars and, you know, negative thought forms and emotions for years. And we have to clean all of this stuff up now. This is part of us coming into our mastery. And the Ascender Master Sarah has been teaching me all sorts of new and exciting technologies that are a co-creation between us, the earth, the higher realms, the lower world, all of it just coming together in one glorious co-creation. And these things are actually growing organically. She's been teaching me how to grow structures that actually have an organic element to it. And I say this because when I've been doing the things she's been teaching me, you kind of plant a seed and then it starts growing. And like, just like when you plant a seed, like in your garden or in a plant pot, you make the right conditions for it, you plant it, and then it does its own thing and grows, and you just have to be there to nurture it and look after it and make sure it's got what it needs and do any bits of help that it needs. And that's what it's very similar. What she's teaching me is like how to create the right conditions, and then she's the one that puts the seed in through us. That's really, really interesting. Sarah has, when I see her in my kind of mind's eye, I get a really bright green. So like bright green from emerald green to dark green. So the kind of all the colours of the forest, really. And it's life force. So when you have the divine masculine and the divine feminine, they come together, it creates a third thing, creates a new life. And Sarah really holds this energy of life force. It's also oneness, but if we just think about the seeds for the moment, that's why these things sprout when she works with us, because she brings this element of life force. So why bother doing these things? Well, you know, we hear a lot about, you know, the ley lines are being built at the moment and all the rest of it, but we have to do a lot of it. We have to actually get stuck in. A lot of us that are coming into awakening now, we have actually been earth engineers in past lives, in Lemuria, in Atlantis. We actually built a lot of these structures that are around that actually, you know, need new ones now. It was us that did it. We didn't do it on our own. We did it, as I said, in co-creation with all of these other kingdoms. But we're starting to remember now, and we can build these things again. And I think, I'm sure, you know, a lot of you will agree that it's quite challenging, all these higher energies coming in and then having to sort of live with these lower energies. And Sarah is providing these technologies. It's like creating a fix. So we're still in the old, here's the new, we're in the middle, trying to be in between the two. And as the new gets more in, actually, we're getting pulled further and further apart. And it's like, ah. So things like this Ascension grid, she is given us a technique where we are able to grow like a net of light over our home where we live. So that means all the time we're at home, we're at rest, we're sleeping. We're not having to fight all the time, because it creates a fifth dimensional and higher, depending on what you need, because it's kind of grown from your energy, so it sort of turns into, you know, where you need it to be. She's given this to us as like a fix. So when I say a fix, so years ago I bought my son a Kindle, and a Kindle is something that Amazon provide, and they, in the UK, they do these ones for kids. And when we got it, I found out he couldn't use any of his Google apps, and I was really annoyed because there was lots of Google apps that he really loved. So I went on the internet and I found a fix. I found lines of code you could put in to this Kindle Fire, and then you could use the Google app. So it wasn't, I didn't turn it into something new. It was still the old thing, but it was a fix that made it work. And this is like the Ascension grids. That's what they are. They are a way of getting a fix to sort of keep us vibrationally in a really good place until we get to the point where everything is like that. But, you know, it's going to take a while. There's a bit more work to do. And she's been teaching me this like for the whole of this year, different ways. She's been starting with doing a lot of clearing stuff, because of course that's a huge part of what we've got to do. And now I've done enough of that, and now we're getting through these techniques to show how to have this Ascension grid around us, which is just so supportive. And then if people want to go further than that, then she's teaching us how to extend that out to our neighbourhoods, actually. But that will be, you know, the next thing and another class. So why is this different? So I've been doing energy work and healing and, you know, all of these sort of metaphysical, spiritual development things for over 20 years now. And the way Sarah is teaching things, it's new, it's different, because so when we work with angels or work with our own thought forms, things are created in energetic form. But the way that I've described it to you, the way that Sarah is teaching us, we're also bringing in the earth. She has that life force energy. We're actually creating etheric structures that have a life form of their own. And it's much, much more powerful. And you can actually feel it in the physical. It's not something that you have to keep like mentally thinking of to make it happen, to keep that structure going. You create it, it's there. From time to time, you have to tend to it. Just like if you've grown a plant and you've got a tree that's like growing apples for you, you know, if there's some sort of pestilence comes along, you might need to, you know, give it some medicine or something. You might need to like communicate with it occasionally, or as, you know, as much as you want to. It's the same with these etheric structures that, like the Ascension grid that Sarah is teaching us how to create. They are a life form of their own, and she is planting them through us. It's really, really fascinating. I'm going to be teaching a class on this on Sunday night. I will put the links in underneath these live videos when I've finished. But you don't have to do it on Sunday night. You can do the class afterwards on a recording. And it's there basically. It'd be there as a recorded class, you know, if you get drawn to learn this material basically. I also have a Facebook group. But I can't actually remember the name of it right now. It's something like coming soon, Ascension grids near you or something. But I mean, I have an Ascended Master Sarah page. That's really easy to find, and I post things on there from there, so you'll be able to find it on there. Anyway, I'm just trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to tell you. I've probably gone on long enough already. But yeah, I'm really, really excited to be teaching this class on Sunday, and there's already a few people signed up. The experience of being in that group energy together is really lovely, whether you're doing it at the time or afterwards. It creates a matrix of light that's just beautiful. And when we come together in a group like that, Sarah can just plant so much stuff in us. She's really a spiritual gardener, and yeah, I look forward to being there. If you can come live, it's great because you can like ask me questions and stuff at the time. We can interact with each other, and you know, it's really, really helpful because it just clarifies the material so much when people ask questions. And also I'll be channeling from Sarah, and that's always lovely to feel her energy. But I've gone on long enough now, so look forward to seeing those of you that can make it, and lots of blessings for now. Blessed be. Let me just see how